everyone, and welcome back to my channel, and welcome back to another episode of Curtain Up, my monthly series where I catch you up on all things theatre that I've been to see in the past month. I feel like I've been saying this every month and I feel very lucky in that I'm able to say this, but it's been a very busy month, so I'm going to crack straight on with it. Actually, a quick note, anything that has been vlogged from this past month, it'll be linked in the description below, so if you want to see my full trips and thoughts, make sure you check out the description box for lots of links. I kicked off March with a 2-show day. First of all, I went back to the Mini Chocolate Factory. This time I took Sean with me and we went to see Barnum. This was my second time seeing the show. I obviously really enjoyed it the first time seeing it and I really wanted to see it again. And I took Sean as a treat for his birthday because his birthday was at the start of the month and I thought it was something that he probably wouldn't go out of his way to book, but I had a feeling that he would enjoy it. So yes, I took him along to see it. We both had a really great time. It was really nice to see Sean. This was the first time that we'd seen each other in 2018, which is just mad, but time has been flying by. So it was a really lovely afternoon of catching up and seeing the show again. That sadly closed now. I think it closed literally the weekend, well, the week that we saw it, I think. Yes, that sounds right. But yeah, I really enjoyed the production. It was great to see it again. Great to see like Laura Pitt-Pulford and Celinda Schoenmaker and Harry Francis again. I mean, they're just all incredible performers. The show I really enjoyed, and I'm glad to have seen it again. That evening I stayed south of the river and I popped over to the Southwark Playhouse to see Pippin. If you've been following me for a while, you might remember that I saw Pippin at the Hope Mill Theatre up in Manchester last September, and this is the transfer of that production. I really enjoyed it when I saw it in Manchester and I was super excited for it to transfer down into London for more people to get to see it and for me to be able to see it again without the journey. That was very much appreciated. The cast for this show I thought were absolutely incredible and I was so excited to see them again. They tweaked the show like ever so slightly in little places, just sort of tightening things up, and I loved it just as much in the Southwark Playhouse, and I forgot just how good the cast were, especially Genevieve Nicole. Oh my goodness, I am obsessed. This wasn't the only time I saw Pippin this month, so we'll talk about that later. The next show I saw in March was another repeat visit and I went back to Hamilton because Miriam Teakley was on as Angelica and it was a very spontaneous trip. I managed to get seats at £37.50, so now I've sat in the 2 cheapest price points at Hamilton. Therefore, obviously I'm doing a cheaper seat video about it. That's currently being edited. It should be up just before this video. It's a really long video because obviously I'm talking about 2 different like cheap seat price points and 2 different trips. I saw lots of understudies, so I hate to be one of those people that begs for views, but because it's such a long video, I know it's not going to do as well in terms of views, so I would absolutely love it if you go over and give it a little watch and give it a thumbs up. I'd appreciate that. It's a struggle when I like to chat a lot and share a lot of advice and information, but because people don't want to watch videos that are over 20 minutes. Yeah, I'd appreciate it if you watch it. Thanks! The next show after Hamilton, I saw Pippin again. I told you it wasn't just the one time that I saw it this month. My friends Amy and Scott had booked for one of the Tuesday matinees and I obviously really wanted to see it again. I wanted to have a catch up with Amy. Scott and I had not met in person at that point, so I was like, right, let's go, why not? So yeah, I managed to get a ticket, obviously. Loved it just as much all over again. It was quite fun because we had a little show stop and it was due to one of the, I don't want to spoil it in case it hopefully transfers, and then I don't want to spoil anything, but there's some bits of the stage that come out and obviously the stage hadn't been set completely properly. So something wasn't there when it should have been. They played it really well actually, because within Pippin as a show, the performers are players. So they just came into the audience and they were like chatting with people while obviously the stage stuff was being sorted out. They covered it very well. It was really lovely to meet Scott. It was obviously lovely to hang out with Amy and I just had a lovely time. That evening I was planning to go home and edit, but my plans changed very abruptly because a friend messaged me to say that she'd won a competition on Twitter but she was working until late, so she couldn't use the tickets that she'd won. So she said, do you want to go see Myth at the other palace? And I'd already planned to see this later on in the week, but thankfully I hadn't booked my ticket yet. Obviously I struggle in resisting a free ticket. I ran home, I picked up a phone charger because my phone was dying, and then I went straight back out and I went to the other palace and I saw Myth. I will try and do a video talking about Myth at some point. I'm so behind with all of my videos right now, but Myth is a new musical and the other palace is obviously trying to champion as many new musicals as possible, as many as they can fit in, which is great. I love that about them. As you probably know, it's one of my favourite venues, so I always love being there. Myth, it used to be called 27. It had a run at the Cockpit Theatre, I want to say last year, but I could be totally wrong there. I did want to see it there, but I think time just escaped me, and so I was excited to get the chance to see it. The story is basically about mental health issues and like drug addiction, especially in the music culture. It's about a guy called Orpheus who kind of shoots to fame, and it's about him dealing with mental health issues and using drugs to kind of combat the rise to fame, and you know how many celebrities have, you know, taken their own life or inadvertently taken their own life because of that addiction. So it was about that, and kind of loosely based as well on like Greek mythology. You had a character called Miss M who was like Medusa, and then obviously Orpheus, and then Hades. So it's kind of a mix of modern day and like Greek characters as well. So it's an interesting mix. I did enjoy it, but I could definitely see where stuff could be tweaked and reworked. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with that. I always love seeing shows that are in progress because of that very reason. I like seeing how they twist and turn and how they develop. The next stagey thing that happened in March was a press event, and this was for Bat Out of Hell, the musical. If you've been following my channel for a while, you might have seen my Bat Out of Hell video from last year when it was at the London Coliseum. I did not love the show, but this was mainly because of the book, of the story of the show, that I didn't love it. So when I was invited, I mean, I really turned down a press event if I can go, because I feel so grateful to have been invited and I don't want to turn those opportunities down. I'm very grateful for them. And I knew it was probably going to be the things that I liked about the show, which it was. So we went to a concert at the American International Church, which was really good fun. I think the performers in this show are absolutely fantastic, and I feel very sorry for their vocal cords because, oh my god, the music in this show, it cannot be kind on those vocal cords. So there was a really fun concert. I think it was about 20-30 minutes. That was great. We got the chance to very quickly meet some of the cast members, so that was fun. And then we went over to the Dominion Theatre, which is obviously just down the road from that church. It was on Tottenham Court Road. Went into the Dominion Theatre, had a couple of glasses of, what did I have? I think I had white wine. Yeah, white wine, sounds right. And then we got to go into the auditorium to check out the get-in for the show, which was very exciting. Obviously, it's something that really not a lot of people are allowed to see, especially not like people like me, just little bloggers and vloggers and things like that. So that was so exciting, and we got to have a chat with some of the creative team as well, like a little Q&A info session. So that was actually a really fun event. Thank you to De Winters for inviting me. Very much appreciated. And you know what? I am excited to see the show again. I think if I can just get over the story element of it and just enjoy the performance aspect, that would be great. Also, it was fantastic to hang out with Amy that day because it's just lovely to see her. Very nice to see her. And a few other blogger pals, but I mainly hung out with Amy, and that was really nice. Straight after the Bat Out of Hell event, it was a busy few days, I went to Wicked in London. Just have to clarify now that the tour's happening as well, just in case. But yes, I went to see Wicked in London because Laura Pick was on as Elphaba. Alice Fern was having a few holiday days, and Today Ticks were having their spring sale, so I managed to get an amazing seat. It was £35 and on the third row of the stalls, so it saved me day seating. It was an amazing view. Laura was obviously fantastic. And I put something on Twitter about this, and I want to mention it here as well. It's quite funny because I debated whether to put it out there or not, because it kind of sounds like an insult, but it really isn't. I said that it was really nice that Laura sung it actually kind of by the book, because you're so used to riffs nowadays. Like, feels like every time you see Wicked, there's just riffs everywhere. And it was really refreshing to just hear it be sung as it was written. And it's stupid that that sounds like an insult, because that's a good thing. And I really enjoyed hearing her do that. Obviously she put a couple of riffs in here and there, but it was nothing like some other alphabas have done. And to know that someone can be still an amazing actress in that role without all the riffs, that was just really nice. I really loved that. So another happy trip to Wicked. Loved that. The next day, such a busy week, Sean came round, which was lovely. We filmed for 2.5 hours. We filmed a few Olivier Awards related videos, which will be out after this episode of Curtain Up. And then after that, we went to the South Bank Centre to watch a concert, and that was the Sondheim on Sondheim concert. I am not the biggest fan of Sondheim, and I don't mean that in terms of like, I'm not a fan, like I hate Sondheim. That's not the case. I just don't actively listen to much Sondheim, and I think I've just seen one show of his, that was Merrily We Roll Along. So I was really excited for this concert, mainly because Rebecca Traherne was doing it, not gonna lie. She is such a queen. I was just excited to be introduced to more of Sondheim's work, and especially in this way, because they had a screen above the orchestra. It was the BBC Concert Orchestra as well, and they sounded incredible. So there was a screen above the orchestra, and it was a film of Sondheim talking about, you know, the songs and his life and the relationship between the two. To have Sondheim talking about, you know, his influences and his work integrated with the performances, it was a really fun concert in that sense. I really enjoyed that. And yeah, I had a great night. And yeah, I went with Sean, and Olivia was there as well, so it was really lovely to see her too. And yeah, it's just a great night. A couple of days later, I had a 2-show Saturday. First of all, I saw Lock and Key at the Vaults Festival, obviously at the Vaults in Waterloo. This is a new musical, and I'm not going to talk about it too much here because I will hopefully be doing a video about it just to talk about it more. Obviously, I like to see new shows and I like to talk about them, so I feel like it deserves its own video, just to hopefully get you interested in this new musical. I really enjoyed it. It definitely wasn't what I was expecting. And again, I'm really excited for the future of it. It's always wonderful to see a new show, especially when it's like in its small scale right now. And in that same evening, I went to see Girl from the North Country at the Noel Coward Theatre. I was umming and ahhing about whether to see this or Network, or try and get tickets anyway for either of those, because they are two of the shows that have got quite a few Olivier nominations that I hadn't seen. They were both closing the weekend after, so I really only had that Saturday to definitely get a ticket for one or the other. I ended up going with Girl from the North Country because it just seemed easier to get a ticket to that. I tried the Todaytix Rush, that didn't work out, so I managed to just pick up a cheap seat for it, and I didn't not enjoy it. I did enjoy it, but I don't know. It was an interesting one. I described it to friends as like a slow cooked meal. Have you ever heard a musical described as a slow cooked meal? I would place bets that you have not, but it just feels like the perfect description for it. Hopefully when that vlog finally comes out, I'll have been able to talk about it in a better way. Who knows? On my next theatre trip, I went out of London because I'm trying to do at least one regional theatre trip a month if I can, and I went to Leicester to visit the Curve Theatre there to see the UK tour of Matilda. I love Matilda, it's one of my favourite shows, and I was really intrigued to see how they were going to adapt it for a tour, because if you've seen the show in London, you'll know that quite a lot of stuff happens kind of in the auditorium, like in the stall section. So I was super intrigued as to how they were going to do that on tour, and obviously I'll talk about all of that when the video comes out. And yeah, I really like the Curve Theatre. I've not been there in a long time. The last thing I saw there was Water Babies. That was 2014, I think 2014, it was a long time ago. So yeah, it was lovely to visit the Curve again, and really great to see Matilda on tour. The next day I took Sam on a little theatre trip because I just really felt like treating my friends this month. What can I say? I'm a generous person. And we went to see The Grinning Man. This was again because Todaytix spring sale had some good prices on the show. Again, I sort of thought that this is something that Sam probably wouldn't actively book, but I thought she might like it, and thankfully she did. I really enjoyed the show when I saw it back in December. Sadly, Julie Atherton wasn't on this time and I loved her in the show. So the show's just extended to the 5th of May, I think. Yeah, 5th of May. And I might try and see it again. Mainly for Julie Atherton because she's great. Literally a queen. The next day I saw Sam again for another theatre trip, which was really nice. It was actually kind of a group of us because we'd been invited to see Ruthless the musical at the Arts Theatre. I'm always so grateful when I'm invited to see a show. I feel incredibly lucky, especially ones like this where I probably wouldn't have booked to see it myself. So it's always nice to sort of branch out and see different things because I've been invited to them. Obviously, because I see so much, it's nice to not have to pay sometimes. So yeah, Ruthless at the Arts, I didn't love it, I'm not gonna lie. I'm probably not gonna do a vlog on it because the Arts Theatre are incredibly strict on you not taking any photos or anything in the auditorium. The ushers were actually quite, not rude, but I'd say like aggressive about it. So that kind of put me off before the show even started because I didn't love the fact that I was invited to see a show because I'm a vlogger and then the ushers are treating me like dirt because I've got a camera around my neck. Like, I didn't like that. It kind of put a dampener on things from the get-go and then the show just wasn't my cup of tea. Like, I could tell that other people around me were really enjoying it because they were laughing loads, Sam really liked it, but for me it just wasn't the one. After that I saw Pippin again because I obviously hated it. I just had to see it 3 times in a month because I really didn't like it. That was sarcasm, by the way, for anyone who didn't catch that. I don't know how many times I have said it this video, but I obviously really loved this show and I really wanted to see it one more time. I saw their penultimate show. I saw the matinee on the last day. I was so tempted to book an evening ticket. I resisted. I behaved. I really wanted to though. I don't know why I booked a ticket for the matinee and not the evening. I think it's because Today Tix had better seats for the matinee and I thought I'd rather see it one last time in a better seat, but in hindsight I wish I'd booked the evening show. But oh well, such is life. And I loved seeing it one more time and fingers crossed it will transfer and I will get to see it many more times because I bloody loved it. I'm hoping it will go into the Marble Arch Theatre and I'm just going to keep on saying it until it happens. So Pippin in the Marble Arch Theatre, please and thank you. Final 2 things on the list, here we go. So I went to a concert at the Other Palace. I went to a concert called Crazy Town, which was the music of Ryan Scott Oliver. He put on his show 35mm at the Other Palace last year and I missed that. I can't remember why, but I didn't get around to seeing it. And I've been listening to that album recently and really enjoyed it. So when my friend Leah got in touch and said, would you like to come with me? And we'd not met in person before, so I thought, hey, why not? Let's do this. And it was a great night. Really enjoyed the style of music. And yeah, it was obviously great to hear the music in person and also with the, you know, the person who's written it in the audience and like doing some stuff with the show as well. So that was really, really fun and I always love going to the Other Palace. And then the final show that I'm seeing in March, I've not seen it yet. It's happening tomorrow. Well, I have seen it, but not recently. You know, it's not happened yet. I'm going to see Les Misérables again. It's been 2 years, I think, since I last saw it, which is just crazy. I'm pretty sure the last time I saw it was the start of 2016, which is just mad. It's going to be April's cheapest seat video, which is exciting. I managed to find a clear view seat on Today Tix, so I picked that up and I'm going to see Les Misérables again. I think it's been my 5th time seeing Les Misérables actually, which is kind of crazy. Cool. I don't know what to add to that. I'm hoping that Killian Donnelly will be on and also Carly Stenson, is that her surname? Yes. Hopefully they'll be on because I'm really intrigued. Hopefully the view will be good. We'll find out. Well, that is everything that I've seen in March. It's been incredibly busy. I was ill halfway through. My throat was a mess. My ears felt like they were constantly on a plane. I wanted to cough all the time. Life was great. It was so fun. But no, I've had a good month. A very overwhelming month. I feel like I've just been tired all the time, not getting as much stuff done, which is very frustrating, but hopefully April will be better. Now that the clocks have changed, we get more daylight. Hopefully that'll inspire me more. As always, I would love to know if you've been to see any of the same shows as me this month, or just in general, let me know what you've been to see, because obviously I love chatting about theatre. Don't forget, if there are vlogs for any of the shows, they'll be linked below. Please do give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and subscribe to my channel if you'd like to see more of me in the future. I hope you're all doing really well, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!